All right, so in this tutorial, we are going to talk about the translations of parabolas. In our previous videos, so translations. Of parabola. In our previous videos, we talked about the standard equation of a parabola when the vertex is at the center. So what happens when it moves from the origin? All right, so let's dive into that. So when a parabola with the equation, let's say x squared equal to 4ay, or y squared equal to what? 4ax, is translated horizontally by h unit. If it translates horizontally by what? H unit, and vertically by k unit. Vertically by k unit. The vertex of the parabola moves from the origin, which is 0, 0, to the vertex, the new vertex being what? HK. So initially, when it's at the origin, the coordinates will go 0, 0. What if it moves H unit horizontally and K unit vertically? That vertex, in this case, the vertex becomes what? HK. Such a translation does not change the focal length, the focal width, or the direction of the parabola. So we say that it's going to move from what? The origin. So let's look at some how to represent that one. So you see, if it moves, as I see here, it moves, let's say, it's going to be focus, and then it moves H units okay. If it moves H units horizontally and K unit vertically, now the new vertex is here. It's going to be what? HK. Then what will be the focus? The focus is going to be, you see that when it was at the origin, it is going to be like in this form. You are going to have 0a like this, but at this point it has moved from what? The move with what? A H unit and what? K unit. So in this case, the new distance added to this, so we are going to get 0 plus h, which is going to give us h. Then we have k plus a. So the focus becomes this. All right. What if, to the second part, let's look at another diagram. Let's look at another diagram in the form. All right, so let's say we have this one here. Then it will move H unit horizontally and K unit vertically. So we have a new vertex. Now the focus is here. What will be the coordinates of that focus? Now, initially, if it is at the origin, it is going to be A0. So it means that the new distance, so H will be added to this. So we have H plus A, then K plus 0, which is going to give us K. And that is that for the focus. when it comes to the translation. So in this case, the basic idea about this one is that it is going to move from the origin. So it moves, maybe h unit horizontally and k unit what vertically. All right. So let's look at some simple things that we can use to work with this type of problems. So the translations. Okay, so if we have a greater than 0, it opens left. If a is less than 0, it opens left. If a is greater than 0, opens right. Now let's look at the equation. So if it is in this, the left, it opens to the left or opens to the right, the sign of the A will determine where it opens to. So the equation will be in the form y minus k all squared being equal to 4a multiplying x minus what? H. That is the equation. Now, what will be the vertex? The vertex is going to be h, k. That becomes a new vertex. What is going to be the focus? Our new focus, when it's in this form, is going to be h plus a. So let me cancel this. It's going to be h plus a, then k. Yes. Then the directrix. The directrix will be what? X equal to what? H minus a. And that is that for this. And this happens when it lies on the horizontal what? Axis. Okay. Now let's look at it when it lies on the vertical axis. So in that case, for the vertical axis, in that case, if a is less than 0, opens down. If a is greater than 0, opens up. And that. Now, what will be the equation? In this case, the equation is what? X minus h squared being equal to what? 4a multiplying y minus k. And our vertex will what? Still our h k. Then what will be the focus? The focus will be h, then k plus a. So it has a vertical axis. This simple thing that we can note. Now for the directrix. Y will be equal to what? K minus a. That is for the directrix. Let's look at a typical example on this, the translations. Let's look at an example on that. So the first one, we have example 1. Example 1. find the standard equation of the parabola with vectors 2, 1 and focus 2, 4. Okay, so in this case you see that our vertex is actually what? 2, 1. So it has moved from the origin. Then we have this focus here. So it means that this is going to be our H and this is going to be our K. Now, to be able to identify this, let's try to sketch this first. Okay, so how is it going to be? So we have, let's take our Cartesian plane like this. Have y-axis, okay. Have x, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now let's see what will be our vertex. We have the vertex is 2, 1. So you have 2, 1. It is here. 2, 1. And where is the focus? 2, 4. And this is going to tell us where it will open to. So we see that always the focus is within. So we have 2, 4 here. So it means that the distance from here, so it's going to be something like this. Now it opens upwards. Let's go back to our explanation that we had here. When it opens up, what happens? Means that our A is greater than what? 0. Yes, of course. So when we get our A, and our equation should be in this form. All right. So it will be x minus h all squared being equal to 4a, then y minus k. Now we need h and k, but that one was given. Do you know our a? No. Now how do you find the a from this part? The a is equal to the distance between the vertex and the focus. So the distance from this point to this point is going to be our what? The A. So the A is represented by that. So you can count from here. So starting from here, point here, 1, 2, 3. So it means that our A is actually what? 3. Or we can go by the distance formula. Since we have our point 2, 4, and what? 2, 1. If this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. We have square root of x1 minus x2 minus x1, we get what? 0 all squared. So 0 squared here plus this is going to be 1 minus this, so you get negative 3 squared. So we're going to get root of what? 9, which is equal to what? 3. So it means that our A is what? 3. The same way, if you count from here, 1, 2, 3, you're going to get what? Our A. Alright, so our A is what? 3. The same way, since this is on the vertical axis, so the difference between the x and the y coordinates will give you the A. So you have 4 minus 1 be giving us 3, and that is for the E again. All right, so that is that. Okay, now we know our A, then we know our H and what? K. So the equation, we have x minus h all squared being equal to 4a, then y minus k. Now our h is what? With the vertex given, our h is what? 2. Then we have x minus 2 all squared equal to 4, multiplying the 3, which is the a, then we have y minus our k, which is what? 1. So this is going to give us what? X minus 2 all squared, then 12 multiplying y minus 1. All right, so let's expand this. What are we going to get? If we expand this part alone, we are getting x squared minus 4x plus 4 being equal to 12y minus 12. Okay, so let's continue here. We have this part. Let's group them and see. We have x squared minus 4x, then minus 12y plus 4 plus 12 equal to 0. Then we have x squared minus 4x minus 12y plus 16 equal to what? 0. So we can also write it in the form like making y the subject here. So when we take y to the other side, we have x squared minus 4x, then plus 16 equal to what? 12y. So making y the subject, divide through by what? 12. So we can write it as y being equal to 1 on 12 multiplying x squared minus 4x plus 16. And that is that for that particular question. All right, so when it comes to this ones here, it's quite simple. Thank you for watching.